Good afternoon, everybody. It's Willowzilla, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're having an update on the tropics and possibly a hurricane coming next week. Before I do get started with the video, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do enjoy the content that I do provide. Turn on those notification bell icons to never miss one of my videos, and make sure to hit the like button. Let's see if we can get this video up to 5 likes. So here on the National Hurricane Center 2-day outlook of the possible disturbances, you can see we have a tropical wave just off the coast of the Carolinas. We have Tropical Storm Paulette, Tropical Storm Renee, and then we need to be monitoring this wave right here off the coast of Africa very, very closely. That wave, according to the GFS model, which I will show you guys later, has this storm becoming a hurricane. So definitely wait till the end of the video to make sure you guys see that. Now here's the 5-day outlook. You can see only around under a 40% chance that this wave does form, and a 60% chance of that wave forming. And then you do have Paulette and Renee still keeping that tropical storm status. So let's start off with Invest 94L, or the tropical wave off the coast of the Carolinas. You can see not much going on here. It's not gonna, in my opinion, it's not gonna form at all. It's, if anything, you'll just get some heavy rain with this storm. There's hardly any convection. Really kind of starting to fire off, as you can see right here on the water vapor. Same story, not much convection going on, so we're not really going to be keeping most of our time on this storm. We're going to get to the tropical storms. But here is the model guidance. So you can see models there's 4 models out on this thing right now. They're all going to be hitting the Carolina coast in about 24 hours anyway. So then here on the model intensity guidance, this has it coming down to a tropical depression, or not even forming here in the next 24 hours. The ship model is becoming a very kind of low-end tropical storm. So let's talk about Tropical Storm Paulette now. You can see on the National Hurricane Center, it is supposedly, right now, it is aiming for the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, you need to be having your heads up, and then as well as the Bermuda Islands as well. But this will remain as a tropical storm. They are projecting no tropical storm warnings or watches are currently out. And you can see here is the current wind field that has been where these tropical storm status these tropical storm winds have been reported and withheld. So you can see a little close up of the tropical storm and its current wind field. You can see it's pretty big wind field for a tropical storm of Paulette's size. Now here's the convection. You can see the convection really, as I was actually making this video, the National Hurricane Center said that Paulette is actually supposed to weaken. You can see its characteristics. They're really kind of starting to fall apart, with that big area of convection really just kind of collapsing on itself. So we'll have to see how the storm kind of reacts. There is shear in the area as well, so we'll have to be keeping our eyes on that to see how these interact with the storm. You can see here on the water vapor, there's a pretty significant area of convection or heavy rain still kind of in that area of low pressure. You can see Renee coming onto your screen on that far right side. Now here's the track guidance. So this is the global models. You can see pretty mixed feelings for this storm right now. You can see most of the models aren't very consistent. A lot of them have them turning right. A lot of them have them turning kind of up the middle, and some of them have them kind of having a left-hand turn kind of towards the end here in about 120 hours. And then here on the GEFS model, this does show pressure. So it looks like it's supposed to go down all the way to 973 millibars, about 192 hours. But I don't really look out that far. I kind of stopped looking around the 120-hour mark with these types of models. And then here on the GEFS para model, kind of a zoomed out image with more models indicating where this storm could possibly be going. Here is the model intensity guidance. So a couple models have them be reaching category or a hurricane status. Almost a couple have them hitting a category 4 status. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll show you guys my forecast. Most of the models have it keeping at a, you can see that kind of weakening that I did say right along in here on the 48 to 72 hour mark, and then it re-intensifying up into a kind of stronger tropical storm. And the current stats tropical storm Paulette at this current time, the current pressure is at 996 millibars. Max sustained winds are at 50 knots or at 60 miles per hour. Current location on the latitude and longitude is 20 north, 46.5 west, and is currently moving at 8 knots or at 9 miles per hour. So very slow moving tropical storm at this time. It's been very, very slow from the very beginning once it came onto the National Hurricane Center as a tropical depression. Now here is my forecast. You can see I have it kind of a low-end tropical storm with around 59 mile per hour winds, kind of in 24-hour marks, as it was projected to kind of start to fall apart on itself. But if you're on the East Coast, you should continue to monitor the storm, as something could very easily happen where it turns left and heads straight for the Carolinas, Virginia area, stuff like that. So now let's talk about Tropical Storm Renee, which did last night fall down into a tropical depression, but has regained its tropical storm status, and it is projected to become a hurricane, according to the National Hurricane Center, late Friday evening. And then it's going to continue to be a fish storm. You can see its wind field not very big. It's not that not that very powerful yet. It's a very low end tropical storm with around 40-mile-per-hour winds. You can see the convection really kind of starting to fire off here, which is a good sign that this storm intensifying, because that's where it was tropical storm status last night. But other than that, that convection has really started to continue to fire off. We're looking at around negative 85 on the scale here on the right side, which is very intense. And then here on the wide view, you can just see that convection blow up right here in the center. Look right here. Look at that convection just fire up right there. So that does indicate that this storm is intensifying, which is what this storm is kind of hoping to do. Now here is some model guidance. So you can see the models are very consistent up until around the 72 to 96 hour mark, where they all kind of go everywhere. But most of the models do have it kind of going at a northwestern course, and then it turning out towards sea, which I have it doing, and I'll show you guys that here in a minute. You can see back here on the GEFS, you see why I don't really look past the 120 hour mark, because it looks like a corn maze around the 240 hour mark. So other than that, it looks like it's not going to be too much of a big threat unless something happens where it rapidly intensifies into, remember, that hurricane status that the National Hurricane Center was calling for. Here's kind of a zoomed out image with more kind of models here that you guys can see. They're kind of going everywhere right now. A lot of them are kind of going, they're not very consistent, so we don't really know what's going to be happening with this storm, other than, it's supposed to strengthen. So we'll definitely have to be keeping our eyes on Tropical Storm Renee. Here you can see the model intensity guidance. A lot of the models have it being a kind of low-end tropical storm. A couple of them having reaching hurricane status. A couple models strong category 2, maybe a mid cat 3 is what they're calling for. I don't see that happening at all. I just think there's a lot of shear out in the Atlantic right now, so I think that shear is going to play a big factor into this. And you can see the UKXI model has it reaching tropical depression status in about 84 hours. That's the only real model that's supporting that, so I'm not going to really go off of that. I'm going to kind of go off of these models right in here, where it's supposed to kind of keep its tropical storm status. Its current stats are 1,003 millibars on the current pressure, max sustained winds 35 knots or 40 miles per hour. It is moving west-northwest at 11 knots or at 13 miles per hour, so it definitely has slowed down from yesterday, where it was sitting at around 15 to 16 miles per hour, and its current location is 17.6 north, 31.5 west. Here's my forecast. I have it maintaining tropical storm status with winds at its peak and around 36 to 48 hours with 57 to 60 mile per hour winds, with pressure going down all the way, well, not going all the way down, but going to around 994 millibars. Alright, here we go. This is the most important part, I think, that we need to be keeping our eyes on. Look at this system right here. That's going to be our next hurricane. Sorry about that. You can see a very pronounced eye. I'll kind of get a close-up image for you guys here. But, I mean, the East Coast needs to be monitoring this very close. You can see pressure going down all the way to 952 millibars as it makes landfall. Looks like in Canada and very possibly Maine. And then we have another area that could form right behind it. Look right here. Right there. There it is. That could be another tropical storm or a tropical depression that could be named. So, we could be very well reaching the Greek alphabet here at the end, maybe mid-September. So, there's a lot of tropical waves starting to come off the coast of Africa. But this right here, that system has my eye. I was looking at this earlier today, and I thought, wow, I need to include this in here. I'm going to get a close-up image for you guys. Or I can't really zoom in, but here, look. Try to look where that L is. You can see a very pronounced circle, which does indicate that an eye is supposed to form. So that does indicate that a hurricane, will be forming somewhere along the upper Caribbean. So definitely have to keep your eyes on that. And here's another kind of guidance. You can see that's that storm that we were just looking at here. Another possible couple waves coming off the coast of Africa right here. Again, nothing really forming in the Gulf right now, so we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on that here. You can see that wave starting to form right there, and then we have wave right there possibly. We have some mother waves trying to form down here towards the south, so a very, very active African coast Atlantic hurricane season for the next probably week. So we're definitely having to be keeping close eye on the tropics right now. Here you can see the sea surface temperatures of the Atlantic Gulf of Mexico. You can see Gulf of Mexico really starting to warm up with upper 80 temperatures right now, and then the coast of the Atlantic 79. There is kind of a cold front that has come through in this area, so that has definitely cooled down the waters, and the East Coast is expected to kind of go under a very cool down in temperatures here in the next week. So if you're on the East Coast, you're going to be loving that. I'm loving that right now. Where I'm at, it's around 50 degrees where I'm at. So other than that, the Caribbean, mid to upper 80s. Parts of the Atlantic also are in that area. So, you know, if a storm was to kind of form, it would have the conditions with sea surface temperatures to kind of intensify. Here's another image of the sea surface temperatures. You can see the Atlantic, very, very warm waters. But what's new with this season? We've been saying that all year long. You know, very intense waters, especially in the Gulf and kind of in the mid-Atlantic, just shy of the northeast or the southeast coast. Here's kind of a wind shear map. You can kind of see not much going on in the Gulf or upper Atlantic, but you can see a big kind of chunk of shear starting to form kind of off to the right of your screen here. I'm going to get a closer up image of that here on the next slide, but that shear, you know, that is starting to intensify. And here you can see where I'm talking about. Right here is where they're talking about. I'm trying to get a good image for you, or color for you guys here. So here is where the two tropical storms are currently. You can kind of see where it indicates that. So right here is Renee, here is Pauline. You can see a big chunk of wind shear is really starting to form off the coast, and there's a lot of it really decreasing. You can see down at the bottom, the blue indicates decreasing shear, white indicates increasing. You can see kind of where Renee is right now. You do have a little pocket of decreasing shear possibly, so you know we're going to be keeping our eyes on this shear, as you know shear does kind of de-ravel these kind of storms, so we'll have to see how they kind of react to this extremity of possible outcomes. Here now we're looking at the atmospheric moisture. You can see very, very moist waters right now across the entire Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico. A little bit of drier air up to the north, but other than that, and then on the tropical intensity index here, you can see very good conditions for these storms to kind of intensify. Other than that, really kind of off the coast of the Atlantic, there's a kind of a big pocket where that wind shear is of highly unfavorable conditions, and that's where these storms are projected to go. So we'll have to be keeping a close eye on how those storms do react to that shear and how they could possibly intensify with this tropical intensity index. Well, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you all did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.